This broadcast will start in 30 seconds. This broadcast will start in 15 seconds. This broadcast will start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Voice of Stockton. For more information on The Voice of Stockton, go to thevoiceofstockton.org.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS, The Voice of Stockton, or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
Welcome to The Voice of Stockton. The Voice of San Joaquin. And today, on a Saturday, the video show, and I have a exciting and energetic guest right here that came from the Women's March rally. So introduce yourself.
I'm Roberta.
And what do you do for rally? You came from the Women's March?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and you?
Hi, my name is Henry Ortiz. I'm a community organizer and co-founder of the Self-Awareness and Recovery Organization in Sacramento.
All right, and then you?
I'm Sabrina Flores-Ng, and I belong to Stockton Powwow. I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator for Stockton Powwow.
All right. Wow, we have a variety of mixed guests coming up. I mean, we can talk about, right now, I want to talk about, I know I missed the rally, the Women's March, because I just came from, I was sick last week from an ear infection and nose infection. I have a virus, so I have been taking many antibiotics. So I was just kind of feel like off this week. So I wanted to go, but right now I feel kind of tired. Like I want to walk, join you guys, but I wasn't able to do it. So now I want to bring you guys over and tell me what was the experience like. What was the electrifying that you had over just doing today's women's rally?
I think it was very powerful to the women here in the community. I feel like for it being the first historical women's march in the city of Stockton, it definitely impacted the women of the community, especially the local women, because this was supposed to be a women's march, but it was more for the community, and it was very community involved.
So as far as my concerned, then Sabrina, what do you think about it? What did you feel about it?
Well, I felt about it. It was nice. Like she said, it was historical. Also, too, I seen community unity, sisterhood.
Yeah.
Also, too, the men that they were there for their support.
Yes, absolutely.
Also, unity. Human unity. Being there, and also too, being involved in it, and just being honored to, for us natives. Usually you don't get calls for us to be involved and be the opening of something like this. So it was really unique. And also too, I wanted to express networking. Henry's my friend. He comes from, he's actually from Stockton, but he's out in Sacramento. If it wasn't for Henry, letting me know, hey, I got some people that are doing an organizing thing out there, hooking us up. So that it was just more than just the community. It was just,
it was like you said, it was a unity, a diversity,
unity.
Solidarity, everything that it was supposed to be about.
Yeah.
So it's like in other words, a group of race of women, different kinds of movement, right?
Yes.
So what is when you say historically, what was the movement based on being a pride of being a woman? Is there going to be a more opportunity that women going to be acknowledged? What would the benefit? People probably would ask, what would the thing that you got out of that particular?
I feel like the purpose of the word historical movement, I feel that alone stands for itself in our community, because right now in our community we don't have that type of positive influence. We don't have anybody reaching out to the community to say, hey, you're strong, you're empowered, you have these other people to back you up. It's been a long time since I can remember for somebody, especially women in our community, to stand up for other women of our community. And you didn't have to be of a city politician. You didn't have to be a city official. You don't have to have a college degree to have that type of empowerment. Right there, it was just women empowering women and the strength that we can grab from each other, and our supporters, our kids, our men, our women, you know, our officials. Those are our supporters. And to me, that's the historical movement.
Wow,
Yes.
that's a very powerful.
Rising
what you
up,
said.
building up each other up. You
Uh-huh.
know, like there was one speech one of the ladies said, you know, sometimes women are in competition. No, we have
Yes.
an idea table.
Yep.
He has an idea, she has an idea. Let's put it to the table. Let's get out there and make this happen.
So in other words, so everybody had their reason for going there for
Yes.
their agenda. Because I know that when it comes to solidarity and unity in women, they're more powerful when they're in unity. And then when you see the men supporting the women, as far as that even creating more, creating an extra step. And that's something that the women has always been a backbone of the man movement. Because when I go to the leader, I say, you know, I thank my wife. I thank somebody in my life. I thank my mom for picking me where I'm at. So the women does make an impact on a man's life to encourage to build them up and say, hey, you could do it. You get your butt out of bed and go to work. Come on, do it. Think like that,
sure.
everything, you know. But still,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a motivation factor. You know, it's really encouraging the women in our lives that really make a positive influence in our life for the men. Say, look. Dude, you gotta get your life out and all that stuff. And, you know, I don't want to be with you. And, love don't pay the rent. You know better, you know, like that. You know what I mean? There's a
It might
music
keep
about
us
that.
warm at night, but it don't pay rent.
So, whatever, you know. That's something that I'm, you know, just saying that it's really that's how influential it is. So, what do you think?
For me, it was beautiful to be able to save some space for our women to vent what they feel, vent what they've been through. It's crazy because after coming out from prison, after doing 18 years, it's a whole different dynamic. You know, I came out here with the intention to help ex-incarcerated men and at-risk youth, and I'm not only doing that, but I'm also now find myself helping some of our sisters and our mothers and women who have been through a lot of abuse, from physical to mental to sexual to abandonment to neglect. And then the struggles they have to go through when they're raising kids with a traumatized man who's labeled as a domestic violence abuser or whatever, right? And they're written off into prison because they haven't been able to cope and deal with their trauma. Nobody's provided the space for them to process. What the heck is wrong with you, dude, that you're burning your wife's house? What the heck is wrong with you, dude, that you're flying her tires, that you broke her nose 2 different freaking times? You know, what is wrong with you, my brother? How can we help you heal? How can we help you address those freaking demons, those issues that you might have towards your mother, whoever it is, brother? Let's confront that demon and stop abusing our women, dog. Let's stop abusing our women. And let's not, you know, let the judicial system deal with you, because the judicial system's going to lock you up in prison. You're going to play dominoes. You're going to work out, and you're not going to give a crap about healing. Let's help provide a safe space of healing where we could get you to address those demons so you can stop hurting our women, brother, because we want you to be able to find love within yourself so you can love our women. You know,
and they can love you back.
Yeah.
And they can love you back.
And then they'll love you
So-
back.
You know what? I totally agree where he's coming from, because when being a person with a Latin culture, machismo has always played the role.
Yeah.
Macho, being a macho man, think that the woman, you know, they don't care. You know, I think men who play women as a secondary, like property. You know,
Yes.
they fight and when they say, "Honey, I'll be there," and they don't even show up for like 2 or 3 hours, and their women are waiting for them.
Yeah.
They
for
take
3
the
hours.
time to get ready. They prepare. And that's the thing about a woman, is that a lot of people, I mean, I'm not saying every woman, because I don't know. I can only speak for the women that I have known. And I have known them to be strong. I have known them to prepare and, you know, to try to think about their situation and try to move forward and try to, let's plan a great thing, things like that, and then sadly get let down. It is disheartening, especially if it's towards a woman who has been victimized or been through domestic violence
and
or
controlling very controlling, because that's how they manipulate. Men manipulate women to, if they prove they love them, they make them wait all day. They make sure they call them, they're on time, and yet they think they're that's the thing about when people from the Christian background also, the man is the head of the house, but that doesn't mean that you could abuse that authority, like, I'm a man, how you got to do what I say, and you do it, and you don't, know. But you got to really submit to each other, to agree to each other when you come to a relationship, And I agree with that, because me being a former minister in a campus ministry in Chabot College, and that's what I've been doing. I married somebody already. I said, look, you got to learn that you got to love from better for worse, richer for poor, for death to your part. It's and the people, that's just the paper, but it takes a commitment. Yeah,
it does.
Yeah. It does. But the really vow is still there. God look at you. When God's there, I think God's real everywhere. But some people say, when you die, you just go to the hole. But I don't think that way at all. I'm like, no, it's more than that. Okay, we're all made of energy. Okay. We all made a positive thing. I'm not preaching, okay, guys? But
no, I hear you. No, you're
I
fine.
don't want to preach anybody out there. I don't want to turn people off.
Preach that, brother. Preach it.
Amen for that. Okay.
Amen. Can we get an amen for that sermon that he just gave us?
Yeah. But definitely, today really hit me, and hearing you guys think that was making a historical event that empower women. Don't be victimized. Don't be misled by men who are just victims, domestic violence, and just power and supporting each other and move on. And because I see those prayers. I heard their prayer on live when Destiny planted, and people were
for missing and murdered Indigenous women.
Yeah.
People are not really aware. So for us to go up there, show Stockton, hey, this is what happened in our community too.
Because it's not broadcasted. No, it's not. It's not advertised. It's not broadcasted. It's not what you see on TV where there's posters everywhere and there's a child that's missing and nobody even knows. And nobody's talking about it.
Milk carton, and it's like, what happened? Like you said, you're right. Even a girl who's missing, a baby missing, not even a milk carton. It's ridiculous. They don't do that.
And how are you supposed to know to look? This person didn't make the Amber Alert.
Right.
Yeah.
So how are you supposed to know to look? You don't.
Good point.
And Indigenous women they disappear. Nobody's looking for them.
And a lot of the times it's misconception. Oh, well, it's an immigrant. They probably went back or they got deported. Things like that. It's all that negative influence that is fed to us, especially right now with the whole politicalness of the wall and whatnot. It takes away from the humanity of what we are supposed to really be about. Right. Humans helping humans.
Yeah.
I totally agree because I have a different perspective from different culture. My mom is a U.S. citizen. My aunt is a permanent resident citizenship. My other aunt is not citizen. So I see those paper houses as well. The wall only symbolize it's just a symbol of just barrier. You know what I mean? And to me, whether they put money there or not, it's not going to stop it from flying over or going climb under.
The people are officially here whether they like it or not. We've been here before they even knew the world was round. We've been here 2,500,000 years before these people even discovered that our people existed in these nations. From Utah, all the way from the Utah Aztecas, all the way to Tenochtitlan, all the way through Mexico, all the way to our Brazilian brothers, all the way to South America. That's a bunch of nonsense. We're a multi-cultural country, and that's how we became so strong. Because we bring our strengths, we bring our cultures, we bring our styles, we bring our diets, and we
love to share.
We share,
in this country.
But I'm gonna tell you one thing though. Donald Trump days, they're like 3, 2, 1, you're out.
Yeah.
He knows. He knows.
I personally, I brought up, I voted last 2016. I voted, to the Democrat and everything, but unfortunately, Hillary didn't win. You know, there was a divisive.
That was her time. That was her time.
Because it was a tragedy, but the thing is that when it comes to Hillary and Bernie Sanders, the party got divided.
They didn't strategize.
They got divided.
They should have strategized. Is it going to be Hillary or is it going to be oh boy, right? But they didn't strategize. They didn't plan, and
it's still divided because you see when they did their shutdown, the Democrats didn't even show up. The Republicans did.
Right.
It's divided. I mean, if you're really for your people, you'd be there for your people regardless of what your political campaign is. You know, you'd be there for your family because this is going to impact your kids' future somehow.
Right.
No matter how much money you have, you can't take it with you when you're gone.
That's right. I told you.
You can't.
Yeah.
And what is your legacy going to be? What is your legacy going to be? Oh, my dad let the shutdown stay awake. You know, it lasted. You know, my dad didn't do nothing to help close it. My dad didn't even show up, or my mom didn't show up. They had a duty, and they didn't.
Right.
That's what's
So
up.
that's why it's two more. It's only a year and a half right now for
Yes.
Donald Trump to leave. It's only a year and a half right now. So we don't know who's going to be the next president right now. So, but I'm sure it ain't going to be Donald Trump again at all. I know for that for sure.
Well, that's only if our community votes like they're supposed to, right? Like we encourage them to, right? We can't force nobody to do nothing. But if you want to whine about problems, but yet not want to show up and vote a few times, a few minutes that you take to freaking vote. Your voice matters. We will make changes. We're making drastic changes right now in prison reform.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mass incarceration of black and brown people that went up from the 70s to the 80s and went skyrocketed in the 90s. And a lot of us are just getting out. I just came. I got some friends that I finally connected with. You know, one of them did 26 years. You know, was busted I think in '93. You know, and we're finally being able to process all the trauma, all the pain, the way we lived, the antisocial thinking lifestyles that we lived, and how we hurt each other because we were traumatized. But the government wrote us off as gang members, as murderers, and criminals, and wrote us off. But without realizing that these are just some broken human beings who have been neglected, who have been abused mentally, verbally, sexually, emotionally.
Didn't have a family to come.
Didn't have a family to come.
And that's why a lot of times gangs or members reach out to each other because they look for that family.
We're family.
It's like that somebody to come to, somebody to check in with. I've seen it firsthand. It's so sad, especially here in our city. Our city of Stockton, you know, and that's why it's such a beautiful thing when, you know, we get all this negative feedback. The city of Stockton, oh, it's so dangerous. The city of Stockton, oh, it's a violent city. You know, oh, you're from there. Oh my gosh, you know, what are you doing there? But you know what? Shame on you, because you know what? You can take that anywhere. You can take that attitude anywhere because no place is perfect. None.
Right.
And you know, some has it more than others. Why? Because we have issues that we need help working on. And what are you doing to help fix these issues? Pointing the finger? Because you can point the finger, but there's 4 more pointed back at you. Right. What are you doing to help?
That's what's
you know, and we need that help. And by doing something today with the women stepping up for women, empowering women, our women are strong in here in this community, in the city of Stockton. So many of us are silenced because we don't know where to put our voice. But when we find it, we will stand strong, and you will hear it. You will know.
That's right.
Yeah.
Here she goes.
I told you, Doug. You know, I've been on this show many times, but I said these two are gonna shine. Don't think I don't talk, because I talk. But you guys, you two have something to say too.
I'm definitely hearing them. I'm definitely hearing them talk.
And another thing too, you know, like I said, you know where I come from. I do represent the Native community and the Chicano. Okay, so we're from the barrio. So we know our people need to learn how to vote. Vota.
That's what's up.
Right?
We try to encourage them. Hey, we're out
prisons,
here.
baby.
But
Rise
we
up
are,
as one.
yes, that's
right? California Endowment Foundation representing.
We ain't just for the Native or the Hispanic or Latino, whatever you want to call it, or the African. We're here for unity, human people.
And just right on what she was saying. You know, I'm a realtor. You know, I know, and people, when I tell them how's Stockton, how's this one, and you know what I tell them? Every city, hot, bad, and good. If I lived in the Bay Area before, I used to live in San Leandro, and then there are bad places over there too. The places that go that are well-developed area, they're the one that get robbed. The ones that are in the poor, they're not gonna rob themselves.
That's
you know, true. I tell them that all the time. Like, look, hey, you go to Oakland, they're here gone. You know, I live in West Oakland, right in the borderline. You know, you go come back.
It's crazy out there. My family's from West Oakland.
That's right.
Black Panthers.
That's right.
They're leading the way in this movie.
Too short.
Oakland's leading the away.
Yeah.
You know, big shout out to them. But you know what? One thing that I really appreciate about Stockton, you know, as opposed to, you know, we're just having a dinner. I was with my film team. We're doing a documentary for the Schools Not Prisons stuff. It's called Dancing in Shackles. Me and my good friend Sasha. And most of that community that I'm working with now is a lot of it is LGBTQ community, folks that have been discriminated, folks that I also had my differences with, you know, just like I had differences with other Chicanos from different gangs, with other races, because our thinking and our trauma turned into negative beliefs and negative judgmental views, and having to come out here in prison and still trying to decompress and change some of those views is sometimes a challenge for some of our folks that have been conditioned into that kind of systematic thinking.
But not only people that are in prison, but people in the city, in the
Yes,
community,
city.
within, because they walk outside, that's all they see, that's all they know. You know, it's really hard.
We've talked about too,
Yes.
Roberta. We don't have a voice
No.
in our community.
No.
We don't.
And-
who defends the body, or what you want to call chart away?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
And that's what
Yeah.
I was telling people today. You know, the thing about women empowerment is a lot of times people don't understand that women have to find that empowerment within
Yeah.
themselves. We don't have support, especially single mothers, single
single
women. We do
moms.
not have support. We don't have that
They
husband to go
don't.
back on
They
and,
don't.
oh, hey, hold me at the end of the night when times are hard. I had a bad day. I had a strong, you know, anything. You know, we don't have that. So for today, for women to come together and just empower
Yes.
each other and recognize
That's what's up.
that, you know, recognize that, hey, you know what? You are your biggest supporter. Look in that mirror. You are your biggest motivationer. You are your biggest voice. And you need to do it, if not for anybody else, for yourself. Because you do have a purpose. You do matter. And somebody will listen.
And that's why when Sabrina came in the first time, we're talking about the Stockton Native Women Talking Circle, and I fortunately they added me to the group. You know? It was awesome. I'm like, whoa, what's up?
Yeah.
And that's something like you're saying. The women need to have something to support each other.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
when they need
Support
something
groups.
to talk. No, you know, going to therapy, it costs a lot of money.
And
Especially
problems
with medical-
sometimes. It can be
Yeah.
a misconception a lot of
Right.
times.
And then plus, and when you need something to voice out your opinion, like this, we have the voice of Stockton. Every person that are alive and breathing have a voice,
Yes.
and they need to come out and say, "Hey, this is what I believe. This is what this needs to change. This is what needs to happen. This is." So that's why I love how Sabrina have networking to bring you guys over here and tell,
Yeah.
look, people want to know what's been happening to you guys, what organization has been doing good, what organization has been positive to the people, what has been positive in culture and society, you know. So that's all the things that I want to bring that vibe into Stockton, in the community, and have some resources for them to go to. Because if they don't have no resources, what are they gonna do? They're gonna go to drugs. They're gonna go to people that are bad influence and all that stuff. You know that,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So
No, and you know what? I mean, one thing I do appreciate about Stockton is the realness. There's a lot of,
Yeah.
there's some pure fucking, excuse the language,
Ooh,
right? But
beep.
solid people that come from pain. Pain creates wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom creates character, and character creates purpose. And you know, when I come here, I see some real solid people. Over there in Sacramento, all due respect to the Sacramento maniacs over there, you know what I mean? You know, it's cool, but sometimes it's still a little too conservative. It's progressing though.
Right.
Sacramento is really starting to adapt different models from the Bay Area. You know, we got the mayor Steinberg, you know, from the Bay Area. Now we got the governor from the Bay Area. So the Bay Area has always been progressive in the movement
Right.
and strategies, because they had to go all the way from the Black Panthers in Oakland. They had to fight, you know, during the era where they killed Martin Luther King, which we'll be honoring on Monday,
Right.
you know, at the
Yeah.
march over there in Sacramento. I encourage you guys from Stockton to go down there, and then next year we'll come and do one for Stockton over
Right
here.
on.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
like
But just
it.
come
Let's
support us
talk
this year.
about it.
We'll strategize and we'll organize, because that's what we
Let's
do.
connect,
We empower each other, right?
Connect, that's right.
And but let's support Sacramento on
Yeah.
that march and stuff. And you know, they killed Robert Kennedy, John F. Kennedy. They killed Malcolm X, another ex-incarcerated who was setting the tone
Yeah.
for people like me that come from prison. That said, you know what, just come from prison doesn't mean I'm freaking dope fiend, ignorant fool that don't know nothing about nothing. I read some books up in there. I went to college up in there. I reflected on my pain and my anger and my violence. What led to this? My mother didn't raise me to be a murderer.
Yeah.
Where did this come from? You know, what is going on inside? I mean, and that's what we need to also help them heal, so they can be better men and better fathers and brothers and husbands to our women, because our women are hurting. They're by themselves, raising up to 5, 6, 8 kids by themselves, relying on the government and struggling to get a good job, and having the time and sacrificing all their life to be there for their kids, because they want their kids to be raised and nurtured right, because kids need their parents when they're young. When you don't have that parental guidance, when you're young and that nurturing, then you become dysfunctional, and that dysfunctional leads to destructiveness and false beliefs and anger and violence and resentments that creates victimization and mass incarceration of our people. That's what we need to do, is start healing our people, having these dialogues, having these discussions between men and women and stuff, because I also feel like some of our men are being bashed a lot. It's like, this is like, oh, I come out after all these years and I feel like, I feel like this is the wrong time to be a man, right? What's all this bashing?
You might be right.
And you know what? But I empathize with the cause of our women. But how do we approach our men who have been hurting our women through a nurturing dialogue, through a restorative dialogue that talks about healing, that talks about forgiveness, that talks about processing and giving space for each other, and talks about accountability of one another.
But the thing is, accountability is that it's a trust issue. That is the trust issue. When the men have trust issue, it's not gonna do anything. You know, I know because of fact. Because when you have a trust issue about the system, about our relationship, about any disbelief of things going on, you're gonna start turning around and doing bad things. You know, so you need to have that trust issue and have some closure. Say, look, you know what? I have no control of what I did in my life. You cannot. My mom used to tell me all the time, you don't think about tomorrow, yesterday, because you can't change what's happened in the past. You got to do it with today, now. Change now, not to change for your future. What happened today, you can't even change it. But at the same time, it doesn't define yourself. What happened. People go back and tell you and really say, oh, you were this and this and this, but yet they cast you out. You know what I mean? But yet at the same time, they don't define what you are right now, what makes you a strong person, who you are. That's why I look at that.
And let me just say this. In order for our people, whether they're men or women, broken human beings, to prosper in the future and today, they need to visit the past and deal with the past. Because when people don't deal with their past, they're going to get triggered. They're time bombed every day, every little thing. A bad look could lead to somebody killing somebody. That's how we work.
But you know what? Not every past you're going to get a closure from.
No. You process it.
You just got to
become aware
learn
of
to
it,
heal.
and you work through it and learn from it.
You got to learn to dig within and forgive yourself a lot, and also, practice. Take your time. Don't just rush into it, because a lot of these things takes practice, and you have to practice being patient. You have to practice being kind. You need to put those into practice, and having discussions and sitting down and talking about it is great, because I know that a lot of people have those sessions where you go into a closed room, you're in 4 walls, and you sit there and talk about it, things like that. But you got to remember, you got to put it into motion. You can't just sit there and talk about it. You got to act on it. And if you can't do it all at once, take your time.
So basically, it's finding meaning in your pain. You got to find purpose in the pain.
But people are human. We're all human.
Absolutely.
When you have a bad day, it doesn't reflect on you. But I have a bad day and I got mad at him like that.
It's an emotional state.
And I get it dirty, and I get a look, and you see me, and it's not because of you. I'm having a bad day.
That's all it is.
You can't take things personally because this person having a bad day and didn't
respect you, the 4 agreements. Don't take things personally.
You gotta have respect from each other, our peers, and that's what I believe in humanity. I have faith in humanity. They're good and bad.
Not just humanity, but dogmanity.
Yes.
Look at this.
No, I think not just humanity and things like that, but I think more hearts need to be more open-minded to compassion.
Yeah.
You really need to have some compassion to other people's and their situations, because a lot of times people go through situations and life trials where, I'm sorry, I just really don't understand, and I'm sorry, I haven't been there, and I really don't know. And that's okay. That's okay, because that doesn't make me any less. That doesn't make me any less of a good listener, or any less of an understanding person to your situation, or any less empathetic.
Yes.
I may not exactly know, and sometimes that's not up to me to know.
The one thing about what he was saying is that when men grow up from getting out of prison, they think they're not teachable. Because when I grow up,
who said that?
No, it's a
stereotype or what?
Because
when I got out, how do I use this phone? I had pagers last time I was out here. How do you use this phone? I need help.
But my point is that when I grew up, I could relate with people. When people told me when I went to get a job, they say, "Oh, Doug, I passed my real estate license. I got my notary, and I got everything. I got my degree and everything." And next thing I know, they asked me, "Are you teachable?" I'm like, yeah, I'm teachable, but yeah, they didn't give me the opportunity. Do you think I'm gonna go pissed off and rob a bank or thing like that and rob a store or thing like that just because people just give me the opportunity? But that's what it's been told. So it reflects on me and my negativity. Like, man, am I worthy of being an opportunity?
Yeah.
So that's been printed in my head, saying
consciously, right?
So,
it's an experience that now shapes your perception, which affects the way you behave towards some of our folks, because you had one bad experience with probably a particular ex-incarcerated guy or two, but that doesn't reflect and represent all of us as a whole. A lot of these men did a lot of time, a lot of years. They had to, in order, a lifer, a guy that gets life in prison, which mostly are the murders and the people that do horrific crimes and stuff, do a life sentence. And before they can get out of prison, they have to go before a board panel. And in order for that board panel is trained. Most of them are law enforcement, or they were back in the days. So it was like the disadvantage as it was. It's like going to jury all over again, or before the judge. But guys had to show they had insight into the causative factors of their criminal behavior. You can't go in there talking about, oh yeah, I shot that person and killed him because I was drunk and high. No. You got to go back to when you were 5.
Right.
What was your first negative experience? How did that shape a subconscious memory? A memory that shaped your beliefs, that shaped your behaviors, your perceptions of reality, and eventually your actions and your criminal lifestyles that led to the victimization. Because hurt people hurt people.
Yeah,
and the whole process now, rather than persecuting and judging and having all these differences, how do we heal both our parties, victim offender dialogue, and get them to really heal each other, heal them individually, because heal people start healing people. And that's the direction I want to see our movement go to, where it's our men stepping up and taking accountability for their wrongs, and our women being open-minded to open dialogue where we can process and talk about those hurts, those experiences, because two people have two different experiences, and it happens all the time, and that's why we have so much differences, because we have different perceptions. Those perceptions are tied to our subconscious memories of trauma. Those traumas are tied to emotions are what eventually are rooted in experiences that eventually create these overreactive reactions, and that can come from our men, or sometimes it can come from our women.
Let me ask you this question. I know it's very controversial. I know we're going to be talking about, what do you think about the flag? What's our lady that's passed away? I've got her name. She passed away. She got shot by the police, and then she had those blue flags that kind of represent.
Oh yes.
They're representing
Corona.
hatred. Do you think that
I thought it was beautiful. I didn't question it. I did not question it at all. I thought it was just a very beautiful symbolism of what she had been longing to do for such a long time, and she looked up to her father for doing it. I saw nothing wrong with that. And you know what? I am a supporter of my community and my law enforcement. Why not? Why wouldn't I be? No.
Because right now, people are now, see, when there's always something positive about our community, there's always some minority.
Yeah, but when you need them, they'll be there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because when the tables will turn, and it will, and they'll be there, then what?
Then we have to deal with that.
Exactly.
And you know what? Even though we're holding them accountable over there in Sacramento for what they did to Stephon Clark and stuff, all my efforts in advocacy as an individual, because everybody has different perspectives. Yeah. I don't believe about bashing our officers, because if you get shot, you get stabbed, you're gonna need somebody to come and attend for that to protect your community. If you're locked up and you can't stab and shoot the fools that are doing crime in your community, you need somebody to protect your family when you ain't got the homies protected.
And it's more than just our law enforcement. It's our fire officials. It's our other officials. We have so much officials here, that do so much to protect us. They a lot of times do not get the respect or the comfort that they need, because a lot of people don't realize they need to be comforted as well. They need healing. They see a lot. They've been through a lot. They have anger issues sometimes. They're human. We're human. Like you think that they're not thinking the same thing.
Badge, all that's just a suit. But they're human just like us.
I don't know about me, but I grew up. I don't know. I'm 52 years old. I grew up respecting the law. But when the law said, when the police officer tell me, wait. I'm gonna wait. I don't want to go to jail. I'm gonna say, wait. I'm gonna. What are we gonna tell me? But there are a lot of people just go like, what? What do you want?
There's another side to that story though. It's the way they tell you when they come in and they come abusively. Wait, like you're a piece of crap and stuff. So you're gonna stand up, and they need to be trained and held accountable, and also to deal with their baggage, so they don't project it on our communities. And that's all I'm saying. Okay, that's it.
But my point is that there's bad cop and good cop.
Yeah,
okay.
That's so right.
They're human. Just because there's one bad lemon doesn't mean the whole rest is like that way. What I'm saying that you are right. But what I'm saying,
distinguishing the good from the bad.
Right. So that when when the cop actually approaches you and says, you know what, you were speeding, you don't argue because you know you did it. So why argue about it? Don't dissect it and say, hey, you know, you're bothering me. I'm black. I'm white. I'm Hispanic. What's the matter with you? You know, you don't do that. You know, you know what you did wrong, and you just don't argue. You just don't argue with your wife. You just don't argue with your wife, your husband, things like that. You're arguing with whether you're wrong or right. You know, I mean, you got to really have consideration from people that are involved because they're like military.
Communicate and put it on paper. If you've done an injustice, you get an attorney, you file paperwork. You know their policies. You study. That's how I used to whoop their asses in prison. I used to study their laws and their policies and hold them accountable to their standards and their laws. That they hold me accountable. We're both accountable. We're equals. We respect each other. I'm a convict and you're an officer. Give me that respect as a returning citizen. And as long as I ain't breaking your laws, we're good.
Okay, now let me think. I did some research about why police officers have not been prosecuted that much because they're under contract by the union. The union protect them, bad cop. You know, whether because they think that they could retrain them, they could be teachable. So there are very much that reason because
power protection.
The power of protection. It's not what the chief said or whatever people said. They cannot. It's a hard fine line when they try to prosecute put a police officer in jail because they're putting their life on the line for you guys to serve. But yet at the same time, it's like going to war, and you're riding with blue plan, but yet it turns to blood because you don't know you guarantee you're gonna come alive or dead. You know what I mean? The same thing with the police officer. So the union protect them from going to jail, from going to get convicted, things like that. So that's the reality. Okay, so that's the reality. So therefore, I understand what he's saying but that's how tough is the law from getting bad police off the street.
Hood attorneys, when you're broke and you ain't got representation, you're gonna get hung, regardless. You know what I mean? And the judicial system is no longer by evidence and the truth. It's more about who tells a story and who can manipulate the jury to really see things from their perspective, instead of having that both perspectives and being all represented right there and both parties being accountable for whatever part they played in the equation of the matter. But our judicial system, it does need some revision. We've changed a lot of policy in Sacramento, and we're getting ready to get some voting rights for our people this year. People on parole. Because how are you going to make laws that affect people of color, people that have criminal records, and we can't vote, but you're going to make the laws according? What kind of democracy is that?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's been done in Florida. We went over there to a conference down there and did some canvassing over there, and they've had success. And now that's coming. California, here we come, voting rights for people on parole. And for people with criminal records.
And not only that, I was part of the Civil Liberty Union. And they had a proposition passed where police will hold possession. So let's say I'm a police and you own a business of a taco stand, a taco truck, and I know you have $500 in your taco truck and you save, and I go, I'm gonna arrest you because you have no permit and all that stuff. That's great hell. And
you want crime or you want people make tacos?
It happened in LA, and they confiscate the credit his business and black and all the money they receive, they get money out of those property that they did.
That's overkill.
They call equity. They call equity crime, whatever.
Yeah, that's crazy. Educate the person, show them and mentor them on how to get the license and how to be productive and how to contribute to this community, as opposed to just locking people up for trying to make a living without committing a freaking crime. Mm-hmm. That leads to crime. That leads to anger towards law enforcement and the system when we're treated like that. Rather than saying, you know what, man, look, technically this is a violation, but look, we're going to put you in the school. We're going to have you talk to a case manager. And we're going to teach you how to be a productive citizen. That's what we're doing. We're doing reentry for ex-incarcerated, and now we're doing it for families, for mothers that just need a job. I don't got a record. Well, don't trip. Come on, let's go get you.
Wow, that's good.
Let's help you come up. And we're not even getting funding for that. I just started that three weeks ago. We got 15 cases. So some of them I got them a job within a year through my partner and co-worker, through canvassing, giving signatures for youth funding, a general fund to go into youth services, about 2% of the budget, you know what I mean? Measure U in Sacramento, you know what I mean? So there's opportunities if we all come together and we network and we help people win. But when we're just incarcerating and hyper-criminalizing our people just leading to angry men coming out and taking it out on our women.
So let me ask you this. Are your organization in Stockton or in Sacramento?
That's in Sacramento. we started in prison in 2005 as a self-help group and expanded to different institutions as we trained people on how to teach our workshops that dealt with emotional intelligence, healing trauma, anger, resentments, abuse. And we had two authors back, as Robin Kazarjian, author of The House of Healing, and Bethany Kazarjian from a book called Power Source. And also we started teaching workshops. I wrote workshops on Miguel Ruiz's book, The Four Agreements. And now I got another guy, a trainer, who wrote a book called De-Escalation. So these were all my mentors, all my trainers. And then I started reading, doing my own research, and writing my own curriculum. Now I'm getting it translated in Spanish so we can teach it to the mothers out there at Burbank High, where we have the most at-risk kids that are getting locked up and ending up in prison and breaking that cycle, doing workshops with them.
So let me ask you this: how can you move your organization? How can you expand your organization to Stockton? Because we need that too.
I've been working with Nancy Patron.
Yeah, it's in the talking.
Nancy Patron, we're going to have a meeting tonight.
We're going to be the talking now, because we need those things right there. What you just said, hit the head on the nail. Hit the head on the nail, because that's something we need in Stockton. Because what he does, it's a positive thing to do.
We have the highest crime rate right here.
To go back on that too, like you said, Nancy Patron, she's a Stocktonian, and we need to have more Stocktonians help us with programs. I'm not trying to say about fathers and families, but we need Stocktonians that know what they need, like for incarceration, people that are from that lifestyle.
We need to have multiple organizations doing the work and helping back and giving back and stuff. And Nancy, when I got transferred from LA, got locked up over there, as a juvenile, came over here, had some warrants over here. She helped me after I got out, and she was from a rival gang member of mine. Because we used to war with your homeboys and this and that, but I was one of her few dudes in that case. They come from the gang that I was a part of, and she helped me a lot. They helped me with housing. They helped me with food, and so I seen that whole call, and I seen people from the hood helping out, and I thought to myself, you know what? Someday I'd like to do that. At 16, when I was in juvenile hall, like the Spirit told me, you're gonna go to prison for a long time, but I'm gonna use you. So when I got locked up and I was looking at a life without parole in prison, I already knew that God had called me and He was gonna protect me. I trusted, I prayed, I fasted, and I prepared myself every day, every year to deal with my demons that took a lot of years, a lot of backslip, even having to put hands on somebody like about 4 months before getting out, on disrespect levels. And it's like, dude, you call me out of character and I have to whoop your ass, dude, why are you making me do this to you? I'm getting ready to
it happened,
we know each other. I try to build you, I've invested in you, you're gonna flip on me and disrespect me, brother? Come on, bro. And still dealing with that demon and saying, man, you know what, because I became a healer and I did workshops and trainings, and you have to live by a certain standard.
Sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
And politically, people are always trying to assassinate our characters, like they did Malcolm X, John F. Kennedy,
that's right.
Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy. That we are always at risk of getting politically assassinated or assassinated physically. People trying to ruin our careers because they disagree with who we are and what we do. And
our subculture.
It's a risky job. So you gotta live by a certain standard, and and we have to encourage our people to say, okay, if one of our leaders is screwing up, let's hold them in a space and let's bring them and let's have a dialogue and hold them accountable, help them, heal whatever led to his behavior, so that we can get both parties healed and have both truths represented. As opposed to just, trying to take cheap shots at our community leaders.
And like what he just said too, like today when we were marching, me and Roberta, and there's some other ones, but we were in the front with Destiny Rivas. She's a Native American community advocate too. But when I look back, I see community unity. And like he said, people don't think about us, meaning the neighborhood. So I look back, we all come from different walks of life.
Right.
We are them, those women, and they are us. It was no where you're from. Oh no, you are better than us. No, we're women together.
What grasped me was when I was walking, because I walked over there to that event this morning, and as I'm walking through it, I noticed, I called Sabrina, I was like, hey, the cops got the roadblock, blah, blah, blah. But as I'm walking up, I noticed people coming from different blocks walking there too. And I'm coming from a different block walking up too, and the cops, they're looking at us as we're walking, and they're looking at us and they're like, wow. That's what he said. He said, wow, look at all these people. And in my mind, I thought, he did not see us coming out the woodworks. Yes. We were coming out from different corners, different hoods, walking, us women,
different
just
class.
coming through.
We go to the wrong hood, and then boom, they do the whistle.
And they didn't expect it because, certain parts of the city is known as a little bit rougher and whatnot. Yeah. And that's fine. We're what you call labeled. If you're into labels, some people are into baggage label, MK, Louis Vuitton. Well, we're labeled ghetto. So how's that? You know, but we're not. Some of us are highly educated individuals that
Right.
just have
We
to
can
do what we got to
dance.
do.
Yeah, amen
Yeah.
for that. You know, on that note, on that positive note, I would like to have you back again for further organization because it's really wonderful.
Can I put him on blast?
Yeah,
He
go
didn't tell
ahead.
you he's a musician.
Oh, you did?
about
All
this
right. We
though.
can put
Hey,
him on position. All right.
Him, musician, and then my uncle Manuelito. You know, he has Latin Unlimited.
Oh,
That's gotta mean him.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
So it's
Original
like,
song.
then when we talked about it, we're going to throw a big old musical band. Hey, because, you know, we like to
All
everybody
right.
likes to party, right?
All my band's locked up. Pueblo Latino, I love you guys.
You know what? You know who's gonna like that? Betty Romero. I mean, she will
No, he
love
knows
you.
Betty.
She's
He knows the
coming
whole
up pretty
thing.
soon after my show.
I'm
She will love to have you
really
at her in Chicano community. Have you met her?
I met her. Yeah, I know her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
I know her
last
too.
year.
Today she was on. Hey, when you gonna come to my
Yeah,
show?
we all know her.
The family event they had, you know, when they were incarcerating a lot of Spanish-speaking families on the border. Well, I introduced. I go, Henry, you gotta meet her. You gotta meet her. You
She's
know,
a good sister.
this is karaoke
She was my boy
history.
Danny, too.
All right, okay.
Danny over there, huh?
All right, on that note, my time is up, and thanks for coming, and thank my guest for coming out on a Saturday and doing. You know, I know, and tell me about the women's
I had
march
to call
and
him. I had to call him because he's busy. He's like the president. He's in this state, county.
I'm the instrument of God.
Hey, are you here?
I'm the instrument of God, and all he does is play melodies,
Yeah.
voices through her, with her concepts, her ideas, the awareness that we're bringing to the community. We're just an
Yes.
instrument of God, because we ain't nothing. Without him, I ain't crap.
Yes,
I'm a
yes.
drug
Amen.
addict. I'm a criminal. I'm a violent.
And just
angry
remember,
human
no sin is bigger than the next, you know?
Nope.
So, I mean, murders, lies, all that stuff, it's all just the same.
All the same.
It's all the same.
being.
God look at the same way. Amen for
Amen.
that. All right, guys, everybody, thanks for watching the video show, and I'll see you Monday or Tuesday. Also, thanks for everyone. Have a great afternoon. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Mwah.